subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from eTimes TV.
So when Rihanna found out, she went and told everybody, like literally went and announced it to the world that oh my God, I'm going to have 2 babies. Like literally, I feel like she's going through more of anxieties than me. Like people think that maybe handling 1 child is easier, but I definitely think handling 2 children is easy. I don't know how it's going to be for 3. Like some people have their preferences. For us, it was like if you say three kids, you're like, yeah, that's nice too. But there wasn't like, okay, this is the timeline. This is how it's going to be. No, it wasn't like that ever, actually.
Hello everyone, we have Dimpi Ganguly with us. Dimpi, congratulations on your third pregnancy, and once again you are going to embrace motherhood. How does it feel?
It feels great, actually. Every time, I don't know, maybe it's a hormonal thing or maybe I don't know, but every time I'm about to be a mother, I feel very, I don't know, empowered for some reason. It's an amazing, to see your body getting transformed, to feeling like a life inside of you. And I don't know, I'm like, barring the first, obviously the trimester, which is the hardest, I feel. I feel like very hopeful towards life. It's a very, it's a beautiful phase, actually, pregnancy to me. Things start changing once you have the baby, but pregnancy is, for me, all my 3 pregnancies so far, touch wood, have been great.
So how was it like breaking the news to the family and to the kids? How did you break the news to them?
Well, I guess there is only, for us, finding out, we weren't planning to have a 3rd child at the moment because, Aryan's still 2 years, and he's not yet 2 years, he'll be 2 years, so he's really young. And the difference between my first 2 kids is like about 4 years, which was an easy transition because Rihanna was at an age where she could understand what's happening, and yet she was very acceptable, because sometimes what happens if the only child for a very long time, then the acceptance of another sibling becomes a hard thing. Yeah. But I felt like she was just ready, like it was perfect. So we always liked big families, and living in Dubai, we see a lot of families. Really, it's not a common thing in India, I know, but around me I have lots of friends and I see lots of families with big families, 3, 4, big families, and I see that the kids are just so happy, being with each other. They are socially less awkward, they're very social, they're very friendly, they know so many things. And I think the first child is a very innocent child. She or he learns everything looking at the mothers and the fathers, but the children that come later on, they're very smart because they have the social awareness. They learn from their siblings, so you cannot really fool them. I see Mariana, I can still fool her. But my Aryan, I cannot fool him because he knows what he wants. He's like, he knows exactly what he wants. So I think for us also, it was a sort of a surprise that to find out that we are going to be parents again. However, it was a good surprise, and so I guess the first person I told was Rohit, of course, and he was very happy. Then breaking it to the family was like our parents, and touch wood, we have a very strong support in our family, and they're always there for us, so that way I'm very blessed. The tricky part was keeping it from Rihanna because I didn't want the news to be out right at the beginning, because you just wait for the first trimester to get over in general. And Rihanna is in a phase in life where she feels like she needs to announce it to the world, everything that's going on with her. So I had to wait 3 months to tell her. But she was also very excited, actually. And she's really hoping for a sister. But I don't know whether she'll be happy or disappointed yet. But let's see. Fingers crossed. Oh, and the little one. Sorry, the little one doesn't understand. So every time I tell him, like, he would come running and bump his head onto my bump. And then I would like, buddy, slow down. There's a baby inside. So he like looks at me all puzzled, and he's literally trying to see where they're like, he's looking for a real baby, you know. He thinks there's somebody inside my t-shirt or something. Yeah, but he apart from that, he doesn't really understand. So yeah.
So at that time, like, does Rihanna come and tell her brother, another sibling is coming?
Yeah. So when Rihanna found out, she went and told everybody, like literally went and announced it to the world that oh my God, I'm going to have 2 babies. Like literally, I feel like she's going through more of anxieties than me. She wakes up in the morning, like on weekends, she wakes up in the morning and starts cleaning up. And my friends, they were laughing that, she's going through nesting. She's going through nesting, and then she's sitting the other day and she's like, oh my God, I'm going to have 2 babies. But like, I guess I'm just lucky that she's very that way motherly. I mean, she's 5-year-old, of course, so she has her ups and downs, but in general, she's a very kind-hearted girl, and she's a very loving big sister, a little bit of a disciplinarian, but she's quite affectionate towards her brother. Yeah.
So do they fight also?
Yeah, of course. Come on. With sibling, don't fight. They fight as in, Aryan he's in the experimental phase right now. So he'll put things in his mouth, he will climb things, whatever the older sister is doing, he will try to either take that or, read that, or, if Rihanna's trying to do her homework, he would go and scribble all over her copies and all that. So yeah, I can't really reason out with Aryan, but Rihanna gets really angry. No, it's not allowed. So yeah, all that happens, but they play also together, So before, like, people think that maybe handling one child is easier, but I definitely think handling 2 children is easier. I don't know how it's going to be for 3, but definitely when you have another sibling around, the first one is not really feeling lonely, Otherwise, the mother or the father becomes her soul, like it was for me. Her whole focus was me, I won't get to have a conversation with anybody else because she would constantly seek my attention, She would want me to play with her. She would want me to talk to her. She would come up with random topics to just like sort of, hijack my conversation or whatever. But since Bunny, he takes up all her time. So, my weekends are actually much more peaceful than it was before. So, yeah. And I've seen that if Rihanna's, like when we went to Calcutta, and in between for a day or 2, the siblings were Bunny was with me because I was in my mother's house, and Rihanna was with her dad in his house, his parents' house. And I found it very difficult handling just Bunny alone, because suddenly there is this vacuum in his life, which he's trying to fill with me. And that's when I realized that, oh my God, Rihanna is like babysitting him all day long. I don't even feel so like a baby is growing up, So, yeah.
So, when were you actually planning for the 3rd kid?
Honestly, there wasn't a plan in place like that. Like, we had discussed having 3 kids. It was never like a no way, how, like, some people have their preferences. For us, it was like, if you say three kids, we're like, yeah, that's nice too. But there wasn't like, okay, this is the timeline, this is how it's going to be. No, it wasn't like that ever, actually. So I guess, in fact, if I have to be honest, I don't think any of my kids are planned. I mean, we've just received them as blessings from God when the time was right, and I truly believe that if I didn't have it in me to handle 3 children, I wouldn't have been so blessed. So, I mean, I'm happy to take it in my stride, you know.
No, motherhood comes with lot of responsibilities and challenges, and living abroad, like, do you have help? Like, what are the challenges you have faced?
I mean, challenges as in, like, obviously abroad you don't have family around. It's not like in India where you can like get help, like lots of help, and everything comes at a price, of course. And I do have help. I have part-time help. That does work wonders for me because I have some time. But at the same time, I don't think I would have been, even if I was living in India, I don't think I would have been very comfortable not like being involved in my children's life 100%. You know, when I had Rihanna, I didn't have any help apart from like somebody who used to come and clean. So I sort of knew everything. Like I did everything for her, like right from the beginning. You know, there's a Japa system and all that I hear, but I never had anyone coming home and massaging the baby or massaging the mom. No, I didn't have it. In fact, I didn't even know about it. I only got to know about it later. And then for my second pregnancy, and then when people asked me, are you going to get one? I'm like, no, I mean, I managed all right the first time. And I think I would like to know everything about my child, how he is. And I am a stay-at-home mom, and I feel like that's my primary responsibility. And I like doing that, honestly. So it's like, it's a lot of hard work, but it's very rewarding, you know. Like here you don't have school, you do have school bus system, but it's so expensive that most parents, they go drop their kids and pick them up, you know, or people help each other. Like I pick up my friends' kids from school, and if he is going to school someday, he will pick up Rihanna for me, you know, and that's how it works. So yes, I have to personally go, and like my parents put me and my sister in school bus. So they never had to do the school runs and then cooking and grocery and all of that. But we have a different life here. We do things ourselves. So I don't know. It's nice also, you know, hard but nice.
And how much of a hands-on father is Rohit?
He's actually a very good father. He has more intuitive feelings toward the children than me sometimes, because I am just trying to get through my day. You know, I'm like, this time is for this time is for that, and you know, if it's bedtime, you need to go to sleep. But sometimes I see like, you know, Rihanna, I might be like a little bit hassled, you know, and then I would see that Rohit's the one who's taking her aside and talking to her, and then finding out what happened at school and what's bothering her and things like that. But as a mom who's just trying to go through the day, I'm like bulldozing things, you know. I am like with blinkers on. This time, I don't have that time to like sit and talk to you right now. Why are you behaving like this? Sometimes, you know, it's also for me like, she's throwing a tantrum. I would just dismiss like that. She's throwing a tantrum, and then Rohit would be like, no, but maybe something's bothering her, you know, things like that. So yeah, he's very good with that. He understands the kids very well, and obviously because he's the single earning member of the family, he has a lot of work responsibilities also. So I cannot expect him to like be there for us all the time, you know. I mean, most of the and we are comfortable like that. I mean, I'm the nurturer and he's the provider, and I do my role, my job as the nurturer, and he will do his job as the provider. So obviously the weekdays he's super busy, and some days he's like, doesn't even get to say good night to the kids because he's not done with work. Thankfully, he is still in the model where he's working some days from home, some days he's going to office. So the days he's at home, it's much better. However, I mean, weekends are there, so we catch up during the weekend. So that's what it is.
Dimpi, like parenting is a term which is like different for different households and couple. Some households have like parents screaming at their kids and the kids growing up like with strict parents, and at some households like parents are compassionate. So where do you draw the line of like not being angry and shouting on your kids and trying to sort things out?
I am a Bengali mom. My kids get their share of screaming and shouting at home. But I'm also their friend. I don't really believe in keeping secrets from my kids. I don't believe in lying to my kids. I don't believe, like, even if there are things, say, I know there are, like, in lots of families, there are like kids get to hear that Baba ke bolish na, things like that. I don't do that. I don't ever do that. Even if it's something that I'm scared, I just let it roll like that. If she goes and says it to everybody, let her. But if I tell her, don't do this, she will do this. And I don't want to firstly make her feel like we did something wrong, because mostly as parents, I think most parents are trying to make an example out of their own lives first for their children to live, right? To live by. So I don't think that's setting the right example, actually. So, I mean, it's really a difficult line to draw where, between spare the rod and spoil the child, or, be the friend and, be really easygoing and flexible. I guess in our family, it's a bit of a mixture of both. I do have my share of, controlling them. I can be a controlling mom, and at the same time, I can be an easygoing mom. Depends on how they are behaving through the day.
So who is stricter, you or Rohit?
I guess we take turns, honestly. And it's a good taking turn, because he understands when I am getting all rattled and riled up and angry, and then he would just like come to my rescue, because we play the good cop, bad cop. We don't go all out on them. And I can understand when he is, not everybody has the same day every day. So what is when he's getting really mad with the children for something that they're not supposed to do, and then I come to the rescue. I'm like, okay, leave it for me. So yeah, we play good cop, bad cop like that.
I saw that video of you and Rohit trying to convince Rihanna to change into comfy clothes from her pink ballerina dress.
Yeah.
He argued very well.
Yeah, it was during the lockdown, and every day that was her thing. Every day she would only go for a shower if she's allowed to get all ready. She does that now also. She'll wear a crown, wear some bracelets, jewelry and all that. And then one day Rohit asked her, why are you like dressed up like this? And she said, oh, because I like to be decorated. Okay.
So Aryan was born during the lockdown, and what were the challenges you all faced as parents at that time?
Honestly, at that time, it was more of a blessing for us than the challenge, because firstly, when you have a kid, you anyways don't end up going out. So, it was very helpful for me that I was not alone, stuck at home with a new baby. My friends were also at home, and then we all called each other, And Rohit was at home, even after his paternity leave. He had the time to spend with the newborn, and my mom was here. Luckily, she came on a short trip, but because of the lockdown, she couldn't go back for like 6 months. That was great because it was a lot of help, even though other people from outside couldn't come in to help. So it was really good, and I think it was a very good bonding time for us as a whole family. So I'm not really complaining about the lockdown that happened in 2020, right when he was born.
So, in today's digital age, how do you maintain keeping your kids away from all the gadgets? Do you maintain a screen time with them?
Yeah, they do have a screen time. In fact, in between it was like zero screen time. So, I mean, obviously the lockdown was hard, especially with me being fully pregnant and Rihanna, no school, nowhere to go. Then, obviously the TV watching had become like a big issue. And then we went from like 2-3 hours of TV to zero, because we are like, this is not going to work. She because so much of TV, it affects a child's mind, her temperament, her everything. So we found out how to work around that, and it did work out. Now what has happened, now I do allow them, but firstly very guided, and secondly very timed. So it's not every day. It's only when there is absolutely no other way, that I really have to do something. And, especially the little one now, he is curious about everything, and he wants to, if I'm cooking, he would want to come into the kitchen and, want to be carried or want to watch what's going on or want to participate and all that. And those are the times, yes. And also say we are going out for lunch, or we've gone out for dinner, and mommy and daddy really need to talk, because we didn't get a chance to. So that time they do watch something together, but only educational stuff, like whatever is age appropriate and, things like that. But mostly we use it as something, as a weapon, secret weapon, when me and Rohit, we need to talk. That's all.
Yeah, those cooking videos were too much fun to watch that time in lockdown, when you were posting, she was cooking pasta. I remember that video.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we had a kitchen accident with her. That's why those stopped a little bit, because, it was sort of my fault that I was trying to open a pickle jar, which slipped from my hand. Sometimes when it's cold, it gets slippery. It slipped from my hand and it fell on her feet. And she got badly cut, and she had to go through a minor surgery because 2 of her tendons were cut. And after that, we were so afraid of letting her or even Aryan into the kitchen. That before I remember when I was in France, I used to let her participate a lot in peeling the garlic, peeling the eggs and stuff like that. But that really scared us.
As parents, how do you imbibe, the cultural qualities in your kids, especially when living abroad, staying away from your hometown, family?
I won't say I'm doing a very good job at it, because it's hard, Even though we are all Bengalis, me, my husband, everybody, I only end up talking to just my parents in Bengali. I mean, me, Rohit, my in-laws, we are all talking to each other in English. For some reason, it's just become the norm in our house. And that's the reason why Rihanna, even though she understands Bengali, she doesn't speak much. So I really feel bad about that, and I really have to do something about that. But other than that, I feel like a lot of our culture is revealed through the various festivals that we have, the Pujos and, the Diwalis and the Holis and all of that. And I try to do it in whatever little way I can here, so that they have some idea about what's going on. Rihanna is still a little bit confused with the names, calls the Diwali Holi and the Holi Diwali, but we try to have fun, the dressing up, the doing things, and all of that. It's fun, and I really hope that during one of these festivals I'm actually in India, because then it'll be really something that they would understand.
So, Dimpy, like being a mother, handling kids, and a profession, how do you manage all of that?
Well, honestly, my professional bit, I try to keep it, because I really don't get that much of a time, apart from like shoots and, that also, they come to my house and do all of that. I don't like, honestly, my whole time's consumed in being a mom. So I won't really say that I'm a very good juggler. Like, I'm not doing a great job at juggling work and parenting and all of that. Maybe like, how many more years? 5 years from now, when the little one is also like independent and everything, I can actually think about it. But at the moment, it's all very consuming, and I enjoy it, frankly. I feel very stressed trying to do everything. I'm not a multitasker. I'm a very one job person. So I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I would see if sometime in the near future I feel like, okay, my kids are independent enough for me to start something on my own, then I shall do that.
Dimpy, last thing, we saw your Insta stories of your pregnancy cravings. Is it different from what you were going through during Rihanna and Aryan?
Yeah, it is. For Rihanna's time, it was like, I would wake up, I would have doodh, pav-roti and chini every single morning. I used to crave sweet so much. Aryan's time, it was food in general. Like, I used to be hungry a lot. I would just like crave for meat and all, yeah. But in general, I could have both sweet and spicy food at the same time. At this time, it's just spicy food. Like, I can literally wake up in the morning and start eating jalapenos, That day, that story was all about, I was dropping Rihanna in the morning and coming back when the radio was advertising spicy McChicken. I heard that and I was like, I have to eat the spicy McChicken. So I went to a drive-thru and I went to the guy and I said, I want spicy McChicken. And he's like, it's 8 a.m, ma'am. We don't serve spicy McChicken at 8 a.m. It's only breakfast menu. So I was like, okay, I'll settle for the breakfast menu. There is nothing to be done. But yeah, I'm like really craving spicy and tangy food. And yeah, sweets are definitely not part of this pregnancy, at least.
So, Dimpy, when are you expecting?
I'm expecting end of July or beginning of August. Yeah.
So, like, have you learned about the gender? You can say
I have. Yeah, I have. But yeah, I've not really we have not told anyone yet. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because here, it's not, they tell you.
Yeah,
it's not a big secret.
Yeah. Like, they have a baby reveal party, no? Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't have that. I didn't have that. It's just the scan that reveals that if it's a girl or a boy.
So, thank you so much, Dimpy, for speaking to us, giving us your time, taking out your precious time right now.
No problem. It was lovely talking to you.
Same here. I wish you good health.
Thank you.